It's been over a dozen years since Texas A&M hightailed it out of the Big 12 to join the SEC, and let's just keep a spade a spade. The results have been underwhelming. They've had one double-digit win season behind a Heisman Trophy winner, one number 1 recruiting class, and then proceed to go 5-7 and watch half of those players enter the portal. They've never been to a conference title game. They've never been to the college football playoff. And the other school that was supposed to just be tagging along, Missouri, has done more with less. But the good news is, there's a bright future ahead. Mike Elko is in charge down in College Station. And even though Texas and Oklahoma are joining forces with the conference, this could still be A&M's best feat. And so today I figured, let's talk about Texas A&M. Can they actually compete for an SEC title in 2024? But what's going on, SEC Unfiltered? It's Cole Thompson here. Make sure that you like the video, hit the comment section. What's your thoughts on Texas A&M going into the Mike Elko era? And make sure you hit subscribe because we're talking college football about the #1 conference every single day leading up to week 1 and well into the chaotic craziness that will be 2024. Make sure that you're hitting subscribe on here and on the podcast form and leave us a review. 5 stars if you love it, 1 star if you hate it. That way we know where to get better. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we got you covered at SEC Unfiltered, all on social media. Follow me on social media at Mr. Cole Thompson and my own YouTube channel where I talk college football nationally at Mr. Cole Thompson. And to keep up with the #1 content surrounding the #1 conference in all of college athletics, make sure you visit secunfiltered.com. Texas A&M is an anomaly. And I think that it's really easy to pick on the Aggies because of they boast out their chest and they're a emphatic fan base. They are literally one of the boomingest, busiest fan bases in all of sports. And I mean everywhere. They are loyal to a T to their university. They love what is the maroon and white. They basically are a cult and we make fun of it. But you know what? They embrace that part. And nobody can tell them otherwise. They love who they are as people, which is why I think a lot of times we go ahead and we put Texas A&M down because of they haven't done anything during this span. But just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't. It's like whenever people say you can't do something and then I go, okay, watch me. I don't know how to fly an airplane, but if I go ahead and learn for the right people and I do practice, I do the time, I can go into the family business. If my dad just wanted to take me out one weekend to learn how to actually fly, I could be able to at least get a baseline down. Now, I wouldn't be perfect, but with time, with practice, I could. And that's kind of the same thing with Texas A&M. The only thing standing in Texas A&M's way is Texas A&M because if they have the resources, they have the funds, they have the right personnel, and it's the right driver. It's very clear that Jimbo Fisher wasn't the right guy. You can get 1 million people to drive your car, and if they all crash it, but one guy actually is successful, that's the dude that you want. And it could be a fancy-ass car. It could be the easiest thing out there. You know what the big deal is? You just need the right person behind the wheel. And Mike Elko did more with less, like Missouri, when he was at Duke. He went 9-4 his first year there. Do you know what Duke was the final 3 seasons underneath David Cutcliffe? 10 wins. 10 total wins. He got 9 in his first year. They were en route to being one of the top 15 teams in college football before Riley Leonard got hurt last year. They beat Clemson week 1. It was the biggest win in Duke football history. They rushed the field in Durham. And that's because of the guy leading the charge was able to get the best results. That's all it takes. The roster's there. The talent's there. Offensively, they have the quarterback in Connor Weigman. I can tell you right now, if you watch him play, even in sporadic moments, you know that number 15 is the #1 option. They have good receivers. They have offensive line that is highly regarded. Now, it doesn't play up to the standard, but it is highly regarded. These aren't 3-star talents. These are proven commodities, former 4-stars, former 5-stars even, that just need proper coaching. And they have the defense. They have the defense from the line, from the secondary, the linebackers, young players, veteran players, transfer portal players. They have enough there to be able to be successful. And they have the resources and the abundance and the boosters that are willing to funnel in the funds to keep them at the precedence of all these conversations. It's not a thing that has anything to do with the lack of talent. It has to do with the lack of tenacity. That's all this comes down to. You know what else comes down to it? Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the #1 fantasy sports app right now in America, and you should join in on the fun. You can win up to 100% back of your money with just 4 correct picks. Turn $10 into $1,000, $100 into $10,000 simply by betting on basketball, hockey, college baseball, and so much more. Prize Picks has something for every sports fan, from basketball to hockey to league legends and everything in between. You can pick LeBron, Caitlin Clark, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, all in the same entry. And if you want to play along right now, go visit prizepicks.com or download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code SECU for your first deposit match up to $100,000. That promo code is SECU to redeem your deposit match today. Go visit Prize Picks, pick more, pick less, and tell them that your friends over at SEC Unfiltered sent you. Texas A&M, when it comes down to it, is only going to be as good as they allow themselves to be, because the talent is there. The schedule actually is there. You look going into this season, it is very hard to say that Texas A&M can't be a team that will compete. They have the games. They have the accolades. You got Notre Dame week 1, Florida week 3. Then you have a stretch of games that I think is going to be a little tenuous, but still very manageable. Missouri, Mississippi State, LSU, South Carolina. 3 of those games, I think easily you could win. 1 of those games, I think, is going to be a slight challenge. New Mexico State, Auburn, and Texas to close out the year. I'm not saying that you can't get over. The win total right now is at 8.5. That's what they are. Vegas is saying that they're an 8-win team. They could easily be an 8-win team. They could be a 10-win team. They could be an 11-win team. You don't know what version of Notre Dame you're going to get now with Joe Alt and Blake Fisher gone. You don't know what version of Riley Leonard's going to take the field. You don't know what Florida is going to be or if Missouri can duplicate last season's success. There is no Georgia on the schedule. There's no Alabama. There's no Ole Miss. There's none of that. So there's no reason to think that Texas A&M can't be that team. What this really comes down to me is how quickly can these players adjust? How quickly can all of these transfers build a cohesion balance to where it's one mind, one soul, one body? Because that's always been a problem in life. Whenever you get a bunch of people that have never worked together before, you got to give them at least a little bit of time to figure things out. And the biggest thing to me, more than anything else, you just got to be able to get the patience. You have to be able to give it time. And I don't know if Jimbo Fisher was willing to have that time. I'm not sure if Jimbo Fisher was willing to fully give in. But Mike Elko doesn't have to be Jimbo Fisher 2.0. He can be his own entity. Everyone talks about being the next version of this person, the next big time name. Like, who's going to be the next Nick Saban in college football? Why not just be the first Mike Elko? Why not just be the first version that's actually able to meet the expectations and expand on that every offseason? Because everything that you need at Texas A&M is there. Everything that you need to be successful resides throughout the SEC. And it would be very hard for me to say that Texas A&M, with this schedule, can't compete. Do I think that they will this year? No, not exactly. I do think that they will be about a 9-win team. But could they? Absolutely. Should they be considered a favorite in the SEC? No. But a dark horse? Absolutely. Could we see Texas A&M eventually make it to Atlanta, hoist up a championship trophy, and punch their ticket to the college football playoff? Yeah, you can. And even in a college football playoff scenario with a dozen teams, and it's expanding to 14 in 2 years, and it's going to expand to 16, then 24, then 32 down the line. Yeah, Texas A&M absolutely can be one of those squads. Number one, you just got to have patience. And number two, you got to have the right person behind the wheel. I feel like that you got the right person in Mike Elko. Now comes the patient part. Just give it a little bit of time. Let them get their feet underneath them, build a balance in a baseline, and then lo and behold, I think the results will speak for themselves. But comment down below, what are your thoughts on Texas A&M? Can they compete for an SEC title in 2024? Can they compete for an SEC title anytime soon? Make sure that you like the video, hit subscribe here and on the podcast version of the show, because we're talking college football every single day leading up to week 1. Make sure you're following us on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, at SEC Unfiltered and at Mr. Cole Thompson. Follow me on my own YouTube channel at Mr. Cole Thompson. And for the #1 content surrounding your favorite team, make sure you visit SECUnfiltered.com. I'm Cole Thompson. Until next time, Aggies fans. Until next time, SEC faithful. Later.